It's hard to imagine what it must be like living next to a landfill, but over the next few minutes I'll give you an idea of what it's like for the people on 12th Street with advanced disposal landfill for a neighbor. Trucks both large and small continuously cover the area with dust as seen here in the Chambers Cemetery. The cemetery was here long before the landfill. All this dust coats the trees, the grave markers, the houses, the vehicles, and yeah, probably even the lungs of the people who live close by in this neighborhood. This goes on every day. When it's not raining, it's dust. When it does rain, the tracking becomes a heavy mud that washes off into the creek. The landfill is required to keep this stuff on site, but fail miserably. The first street sweeper they brought in did nothing more than push most of the mud off into the ditches and turn the rest of it into a fine layer of sediment that later became airborne dust. All day, every day, 5 days a week, these monsters roll through the neighborhood kicking up dust. Here you see one of the neighbor ladies who continuously has to clean mud and debris out of her yard.
Now look at the dust.
Leaves on top of that damn truck that's blowing off, and I'm out here trying to clean leaves up now.
It's not right that anybody should have to live with this day in and day out within 15 to 20 feet of their home. Over the years, I've been told several stories about funeral processions being either blocked in or out of the Chambers Cemetery. Stories of how even during burial ceremonies the trucks roll by and dust the grieving families, sometimes even blowing the horn during the ceremonies. Here's just one example of the disregard for the public's use of this road. There's only a few residents at the end of this road, so there's not much traffic. But it is a public street and people should be able to come and go without having to wait on the landfill trucks to chat it up in the middle of the street. The truck on the left has to pull all the way off the shoulder of the road, as you can see many others have before him. That's just barely within 3 feet of the graves that lay there under that cedar tree. The current waste load for this landfill is 1,000 cubic yards a day, which has to roll down this tiny congested neighborhood street literally within a few feet of people's homes. It's obvious that the landfill can't control the off-site tracking at 1,000 cubic yards a day. Now they want to increase it to 3,000 cubic yards a day within just a few feet of these people's homes. Applying new gravel at the entrance does nothing to stop the mud, which later becomes dust. Here you see the truck on the left leave the shoulder of the road and drive perilously close to the graves in the cemetery. With barely enough room for emergency vehicles to pass, you can see where a traffic jam like this might create a problem. I can't imagine how anybody could think that tripling the waste stream in here on this little street could be a good idea. This isn't a far-off rural road in the middle of nowhere. It's a tiny street in the middle of a community. The landfill recently changed the plastic brushes out on the mud spreader for new steel ones. They do more damage to the pavement, but very little for picking up the mud. All of what the mud spreader leaves behind will be airborne dust when the sun comes out. This video has been about 1 year of the life of residents with a landfill for a neighbor. County engineers recently performed a traffic count on this street. It was set between the last house and the gate to the landfill. The numbers even surprised me. There's well over 1,600 vehicles a week. That's 320 a day, 5 days a week, 30 per hour, or one truck about every 2 minutes. But these trucks don't come in averages, they come in clusters. This is at 1,000 cubic yards a day. Advanced Disposal Landfill wants to increase this to 3,000 cubic yards a day. The annual average, according to this count, comes to 83,000 trucks per year. If they increase it by 3, that's the potential for 249,000 trucks per year to pass through this tiny community. When the vote for this expansion comes before our county commissioners, I hope they'll side with the people of this district and not some out-of-state garbage collectors.